Hopefully this is coming through. I better check. Right, I think so. I'm Darla. Been busy on the internet for years, doing this and that. This is my channel for just random stuff. I've never really tried to do anything like this. I've always been confident though that I could. But there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. Aye. Let's find out if the practical application of what I do actually results in success. That's when you can get confidence in something. Being successful. Now you hear music in the background. That's my band. Or was my band. We don't play anymore. Boiled down to just myself. And that's totally fair enough. I'm 42 now. As you can hear, I'm Scottish. And there's good reason. I'm not outwardly talking too much English. I'm speaking Scots. English has become very much a prestige language. And I want to be myself. I don't want to be aspiring to be English. I'm not interested. Scotland should have independence, and then we can crash a rain ship if we like it. But for real, we'll probably have one of the best setups you could ever dream of. Large resources, not just oil, which is a hugely valuable resource. Endless green energy that can be turned into commodities and sell to other people. Just under 1/3 of the Bank of England. We own that. We own just under 1/3 of the Bank of England. Ah man. No, don't go it alone. You'll all be poverty stricken. What does that look like? Do you know what I mean? Have you been in the poor areas? Do you know what it looks like? It looks like a second world. No, all the money goes to London, and we all know that. They've got their own sense of inflation there, because the more money you pump into it, the more expensive everything gets. So the more money you need to pump into it. And it is just a failed system. I don't see why we should be feeding into it. Westminster is very much of a Tudor reenactment club. I mean, I saw Mary Black talking about it. One guy chasing another guy with a sword because they wouldn't get out of a wee cubicle place to let other people vote. What kind of joke is that? What kind of joke in a place is that? No, 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 no. You look at Holyrood. Modern beyond modern. It is a place of fineness and purity. A model of civility. Where our very government is modelled to be a minority government to work with our parties. The whole place is designed from the ground up to make all the parties all work with one another. That is righteous. And what do we have in Westminster? Oh, a rah-rah club. Do you know what I mean? A place where they all go and argue with one another and go, wah, 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 wah. You want that for your future? That's a past, mate. That's you're living in the 1700s. Oh man. How could you want that? Oh no. Let's all do a wee dancer in the Queen or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm a Jacobite monarchist fatalist, right? Which is that I support the Jacobite monarchy, right? But at the same time, I realise it's a fatalist thing to do because you can't support them, and they've declined loads of times. The remaining Jacobite monarchs have declined. They've said, look, we're not doing it. We're gaining the succession to the Queen of England. Oh. So, if we had the Jacobite monarchy back, and that's a direct line of the Stuarts, right? Because believe it or not, there was a contender that my clan fought for. And they had descendants that are no the Queen. But eventually, even if we had the Jacobite monarchy back, they would marry into the English royalty and we'd be back at square one. And look at the English royalty. And I'm very aware I'm calling it English. And for this very point, I'm going to point out now that they don't come back. You know, it's like picking something up at the shops and then they're away. What are you really meant to do? I mean, you have all these royals and they just marry celebrities, right? Not one of them is thinking, oh well, do you know what, we need to marry into the Scots because the Scots are off. Do you know? We need to get some Scottish nobility down here and marry into them. The McDonalds, the McDuffs. Now my clan is to do with the McDuffs, and the McDuffs are super royal. They were cousins to the king, and it was their job, Scottish king or queen, and it was their job to crown the monarch. And this was a very regal task. This was a sacred task. The Macduff's seat actually has fallen into disrepair since 1988, I think, or was it 98? It's been the last 50 years anyway. But I mean, you still have the McDonald's. I mean, you could go, right, well, let's marry a McDonald. Do you know? Where the Isles? I think Algovies are the only Scots that are part of the royal succession, and they're like 200th in line. And that was a fluke. That's a total fluke that one of the royals married a Scotsman. Do you know? And besides, see if you're Scottish and you're going like, oh well, they all grew up in London, even though we get Scottish last names. What's that to you? You're going, well, oh well, it's all the UK and all that. Do you know what? It doesn't. It fundamentally contradicts that they know your culture. They don't have a clue. They just know about English culture. And as far as British culture, that's a myth. It hasn't been British culture since 10 years after the war. The war was a monumental thing. Second World War. First one and all. But you know what? If you're going to say to me, oh well, you know, you got to be modern about certain things, well, how come you can pick and choose? How come you can say, oh well, I'm proud of the world wars and da da da, and I believe in the Union partly because of that, and then I say, well, do you know what? 300 years ago, we got our country stolen off us. And I know all about the Darien scheme. I also know that the king was at least somewhat involved by sending his spy along. So, as far as circumstantial evidence goes, you've not got a leg to stand on. The reason that William Orange got a foothold in Scotland was because people were converting to Protestantism, and William Orange was killing Catholics. So they're like, oh wow, he's killing Catholics. We want to kill Catholics. And these people who are wanting to kill the Catholics are wanting to take their land. They go, oh well, I'll get this land. At least I'll get it cheaper. Crazy. Highland clearances, and Scotland's still suffering for a lack of population. And our population is actually going down. No. I'll say this, right? It's Scotland's own fault, but you know, I think is and I don't say Celtic, I say Gael culture, and in Gael I include the Irish, the Scots, the Welsh, the Cornish, and the French. Now, if the Catalans want to say, aye, well, we're part of your family, then I'm all up for it. We're definitely related to them. If they want to say they're part Iberian, right, that's cool too. They've certainly been in that area for a long time, and their ancestors will have been Gaels. I mean, when France was the Kingdom of Gaul, that, you know, Catalonia was a part of that. So yeah, we're definitely all Gaels, part of the whole Gaul-Gael family. So population, like, so we've never really recovered for the Highland clearances, and I've identified, I think, why. I think with the way history's went is, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. Even Tories, even English Tories, I'm not pointing fingers, right? So about the 1850s, right, people were hard up for money, and they were struggling to pay back their mortgages. So what they did was they started cutting their house in half. Now their house was a nice big house, so they cut it in half, sell the other half off, and then pay their mortgage. And they'd be like, oh yeah, this is kind of working. Right, fair enough. Well, that kind of mentality continued on, and it was actually surprisingly it was the Tories that in the 1890s and onwards who built all the big houses in Scotland, and they did a pretty decent job. Yeah, that's very surprising. And they encouraged land ownership and everything else, and you know, it was quite a libertarian kind of outlook. And I think that's, as far as the right wing goes, libertarian style land ownership has always been popular in Scotland. And that's something Ruth Davidson is missing a trick out on. By no monopolising on that politic. I'm left of centre myself, I'm SNP. And before that my family were Labour. And I was a wee kid, 11 years old, banging on about the SNP. And they go, my grandma would go, oh no, well, you can't let the Tories in. And she was quite right. English Tories. For the 1930s onwards, the English Tories were, were monstrous in their behaviour. I'm even including the great hero Churchill. I mean, he was going about doing racial cleansing. Nobody knows that about him because we've all got to respect him because how well he did in the war, and he did do well in the war. But you know, then there's the racial cleansing, and you're like, well, how am I meant to feel about that? Because this is meant to be a heroic guy, and he was in the war. But the other policies that he was doing, the other attitudes he had, he was a monster. So you have this crazy dichotomy where, was Churchill this hero? Was he this monster? And as people for this these isles, you can't help but be grateful to Churchill for what he did. Because you don't want the Nazis coming in. I don't know. I'm grateful to him. Thank you for all your amazing strategies and your decisions. I zero support all your racial cleansing and all crazy stuff like that. The Tories did well until like 1910, 1920. They were riding high in a wave. They had, they had beaten the Whigs, who had been beating them for about 200 years, which is staggering. They had been in opposition for roughly 200 years. Of course I'm paraphrasing, I can't quite remember offhand. So, aye, they were alright until like 1920. And then I don't know what went on with them or what. They just went off into this kind of tangent of being evil. And oh man, Westminster should have died a long time ago. They are every bit as evil as Americans imagine communists are. Now that's scary because Americans have got some crazy ideas about the left wing. I mean, they totally skip over that Canada's left of centre. They just, that's what socialism looks like. Canada. That's it right there. And you can walk in anywhere, a McDonald's in Canada, and buy yourself a burger, and it's not going to be tracking you till your death. Right? There's no spy going to pop out of your medium fries. Right? It's just, that's what socialism is. And America, they don't have any socialism really. They have either extreme right-wing imperialists who call themselves conservatists, much like the Tories here, the English Tories, and they have centrists. Now their centrists is what they call their left wing. And they say, oh, they're liberals, and that's their forte into what they see as the left wing, and it's no right, it's no true. Oh, our time is almost up here. I didn't even get to the houses and the clearances. Oh well, maybe next time.